My name is Linda Warren and I'm an instructional designer at MicroAssist. So for eLearning Symposium 2011, I was asked what I wanted to talk on, and some of the things that have been really interesting to me for the past couple of years are what makes learning memorable. And there are so many people talking about that from different directions. What I decided to address this time is sort of the crossover. So we have people like Gagne, who studies instruction, and he has 9 events of instruction that need to happen. And then we have people like John Medina, who wrote the book Brain Rules, and he talks about how we think and how we process information and how memories are formed. And then we also have people like Chip Heath and Dan Heath, who wrote Made to Stick. And in that book, they talk about what makes communication messages memorable. Then we also have people like Malcolm Knowles, who talks about adult learning and what makes that effective. And we also have people who talk about motivation, and your learners have to be motivated. So I'm looking at all these different ways of looking at learning, and what we're going to do at the symposium is sort of look at the cross-section on all these different perspectives on what makes learning memorable. And then in this talk, also there are people who look at developing effective training about games and making things interactive. So we're trying to plan some special things for the audience that'll be a little bit of a surprise and things that we hope will make the learning very meaningful and memorable. And actually, we're going to have a little test to see how memorable this training is. So we'll find out how effective our training is. And I expect that people who are in there will actually remember things that they never thought they would have remembered, and they'll do it without even trying or thinking about it. Actually, doing research for this was really fun. I had heard about John Medina and his ideas about how the brain works about a year ago, and I had been meaning to read his book, and I wanted to get more information as I prepared this talk. And I came across all kinds of things, much more than we can put in there. Some great stuff that aligns with the other perspectives that I want to use, but then also some things that we won't be covering in this. Things like the brain uses 20% of the energy that your body consumes, yet it's only 2% of your body weight. So your brain is really active, and you don't think about all that processing that goes on. And he gets into some other things about what happens during sleep. And I know just from experience, when you're trying to solve a problem and you're asleep at night, you might wake up thinking about the problem. And he goes into things like the hippocampus being instrumental in creating memories and communicating with your brain cortex, where your memories are, during the night. And so what you've been thinking about during the day is bouncing back and forth in your brain at night. And you need that time to rest your brain from other things and process information and create memories. So in doing the research for this, I found out some things that were really pretty interesting. There's no one right way to do things. There are so many different ways. So knowing your audience and what's meaningful to them and what motivates them is probably the most important thing. And the thing that's really fun and creative is that there's so many different ways you can go about it. And so we're going to look at maybe 20 different ways that you can go about making learning memorable and engaging. And it's sort of a buffet that you can choose whatever works in a different situation. And people might pull out one idea to use on one project, something else to use on another, and hopefully they'll see something maybe they've heard before and use it in a different way.